And we are live. So this is the time when we like talk to the replay viewers because nobody's here yet. So replay people, hey there, hey. That's LaTisha with me. And she's going to be dropping gems. So bookmark this, go get your notepad, come back because you know you're going to take notes and you're going to need this for your stuff that comes out tomorrow. Okay. So we're going to give people a minute or two to get in here.
Okay.
And we already have some viewers coming in. As you come in, say hello just to let me know that you can hear me, because if you can't hear me, that's going to be a problem. And they're piling in already. They really wanted to see you, LaTisha.
I really wanted to see them too. I can't see anybody though.
No, you can't. So that's the thing. You are in a vacuum. Okay. All you see is me. Okay. And I get to see all of them. And what I do actually is that I actually have another browser open where I can see the questions that everybody's asking. I see Art Centron, Bucola, Carrie Ann, I am Erica. You guys can see me, hear me. That's great. You guys are here. We're going to give some people a little bit of time to get in here before we get started, just like we did yesterday.
Okay.
And you guys know the rules. Ask whatever question you would like. Take advantage of the expert that we have with us today, because later on this month, you're going to say to yourself, oh my God, I wish I had asked LaTisha this. Because you're going to love everything that LaTisha drops for us later today.
One thing I will say, because I know that a lot of times when I'm watching something or listening to something, I always think of my questions later. And usually it's because like I'll have thought of something and then it takes some time to like digest it. So
yes.
if you feel like that's you, then I'm inside of the Hustle Crew group. So you can always just ask the question, tag me, and I'm happy to answer it there as well.
Yes, LaTisha is in the group. So, okay, we've got a good number of viewers here. Let's go ahead and get started. So for those of you who were here yesterday, I told you guys to come back today, that you would not want to miss LaTisha. And I am so happy that I kind of wrangled LaTisha. I didn't even ask her to come. I was just like, you know, you're going to be here talking to the Hustle Crew, right? And she was like, okay.
I was like, what date, what time? Put me on, let's do it.
So the reason why I wanted LaTisha here is because LaTisha started as, just like Michelle, just like I did, blogging. And LaTisha's kind of evolved into loving the tools and all the things that go into getting your blog life together. And she is the funnel mistress and all this other good stuff. I have learned such good stuff from LaTisha, including my Facebook marketing and some good stuff. And she's always dropping gems into our mastermind group. I talked about mastermind groups yesterday, and LaTisha is part of the mastermind group that Michelle and I are on in as well. So LaTisha's always dropping these gems. And I was like, I don't want anybody else to come here talking to the Hustle Crew except LaTisha about all this stuff for their blogs. So LaTisha, can you please introduce yourself? Tell the Hustle Crew who you are. You're in the group already.
Yes.
But I want them to know who you are and why they need to know who you are.
Okay, so my name is LaTisha Styles. I am a marketing consultant and business coach, helping you take an existing skill and turn it into an online business. I'm the founder of Creating Coins, where we are turning ideas into income. And like Sandy said, I started in the online world as a blogger. I started a personal finance blog. I grew that to as the base of my platform, which was becoming a millennial personal finance expert. I had the opportunity to be featured in Forbes and Business Insider and Huffington Post, and work with large brands like Discover and Progressive and PNC Bank. And everything started because I started a blog. And, you know, when I graduated into the Great Recession and I couldn't find a job, which is why I started my blog. And I honestly had no idea it would lead me to where I am right now, which is working for myself full time and loving it. So that's me.
Awesome sauce. I muted myself. Sorry about that. Now, you guys have seen me before. You guys know I'm perpetually thirsty. So don't mind me. I mute myself as I'm drinking my water. You too. See, she's got her bottle.
Yesterday, hydrated, you know?
Michelle was making fun of me because I was like, guzzle, guzzle, guzzle. because she could see me doing it and they couldn't. She was cracking up. Okay. So, all right. So we are here. I know you guys have not seen the lesson yet on how to start your blogs. That comes out tomorrow. But I want you to have all these tools and things that LaTisha is going to talk about and that we'll just kind of organically chat about as we're going through this conversation. Again, as she mentioned, you may have questions that pop up later. LaTisha is in the group. You can tag her. We will do like we did yesterday. We'll create a post that you can, go ahead and ask questions and things later, because you will have questions, because there's so many good things now that didn't exist when I started my blog that makes life so much easier for you guys, that I think you're going to love, and you're going to definitely use this resource that is LaTisha Styles. So Tish, what is your number one tool that you think new bloggers, or any tools that you think new bloggers should have or learn about?
Number one tool, an email service, email software to go along with your blog. So you should be capturing email addresses from day one, even if all you're offering them is updates. That's what I did at first.
Why? Because I made this mistake for about five years. I wasn't capturing email addresses. 5, 6, 7? I don't know. It's a long time. Why do you think it's important for you to capture email addresses, even when you're just starting out for your money-making blog?
So the number one reason that I say, you need to capture email addresses is because having an email address is like having a direct line to your audience, right? So it's your way to announce when you have a new blog post, when you're trying to find out more about your audience and you want to do a survey, when you're doing a giveaway and you want to kind of build that engagement, whatever it is, we're still checking our email. Sandy, how many times do you check your email every day?
Constantly goes off.
Yeah, all day. But I know you let your emails build up though. So maybe I shouldn't ask you.
No, I've gotten better at it. I've gotten better because email was my kryptonite for real. And then I realized somebody said to me, actually, I know who said it to me. It was Carrie Pink who said to me, girl, your coin is in your inbox. And I was like, ka-ching. I'm skipping this coin that's in my inbox. And she was right. So I got my life together and my emails on my phone. I'm like, okay, ka-ching. Okay, handles. I categorize all my emails back and forth. So now I'm better with my email.
Yeah. And it's true. So we're checking our emails all the time. I mean, I've gotten out of the habit of checking it first thing in the morning because it would interrupt my thought process for the morning. But I mean, I check my email every day, multiple times a day. I actually just had it up a minute ago, which is why you might have heard the phone call that was coming in. Because I've got my Google Voice attached to my Gmail and phone rings or whatever. So building up that email list, even from day one, even before you really have something to offer, is not only going to help you start building your community, but it's going to help you to speak to the people who are actually interested in hearing from you. Because you might write a blog post and you don't know, someone might come by, they stop by and they're like, oh, that's great. If you want them to come back, you need to get their email address so you can ask them to come back. There's so much information online. There's new blogs that are going up like every single, ding, ding, ding. There are 3 more blogs just went up, right? So like you have to start that conversation. And I think if I were to say the one thing you could have is do email. Did I ever tell you about that, the e-zine that I started?
No.
Okay, so let me tell you this real quick before you go on to the next question.
Okay, go ahead.
When I first got online and I was like 14 years old, this was back in the AOL, you got mail days. Actually, I had an e-zine. It was I had a list of people who I used to blind carbon copy, so BCC, right? And I would send them. It was an e-zine called Rave Corner, and it was kind of meant to be like a Cosmo Girl, Cosmopolitan magazine. And I would just send them updates like this is a fashion or whatever. And I actually decided to do an offline issue. And I emailed that list and I said, if you would like a copy of the offline issue, mail me $1. And I got $3. Listen,
that was 3 paying customers. I'm not mad at you.
So that's the power of an email list. Even somebody as young, I was 14 years old and I was talking about fashion, and it cost me more to print the pages and then mail them off than $1.
That's okay though. That's called a proof of concept. So while we're on the subject of email lists, because I don't think people get how powerful an email list can be, and I'll tell you a story about what happened today with me from an email list. Why is it just so important? And why was I making this mistake for 7 years of my blog life? Or 6 years?
Well, you always hear, like, I always heard like the money's in the list, right? Everybody's like, the money's in the list. You got to have an email list. But I never really understood what that meant because I never knew what to do with my email list.
Same.
But I was capturing emails.
I'm not doing it.
but I was capturing emails. So I was still getting emails because everybody said you need to get emails, but I didn't know what to do with them. Okay. It wasn't until I even forget who I started following. I think it was just me starting to subscribe to a bunch of different email lists. And then I started seeing how they were communicating and they were emailing. And that's when I started learning, okay, I am sharing updates, letting people know what blog content is coming out. I'm asking them what they want to hear about next. I am sending people over to a Facebook page to leave a comment or whatever it is. Like, it's essentially, it's your way of driving traffic. And as long as you have that email address and that email list, no matter whether, Facebook goes down or Instagram goes down or your website gets shut down or Google de-indexes you, you can talk to your people and say, hey, we're moving over here now. We got shut down over there, but here we are. And, they'll be like, okay, let's go. And they're ready to move with you.
Yeah, the email list can be so powerful. One of the things I actually learned from LaTisha was about marketing funnels. And the emails come in so handy for that. And I'll give you an example of a funnel that I have developed. I have some of you guys from the Hustle Crew, a lot of you took my free t-shirt webinar and started your t-shirt businesses, right? That t-shirt webinar, at some point to get that webinar, you had to subscribe to the VIP club. To be in the VIP club, you had to do what? Give me your email address. You gave me your email address, you got that webinar for free. And then now that you're on my email list, I can market other things to you. So an example of something that I did was I recently bundled my t-shirt webinar with a drop shipping course that I had. And I put them together, and you get these two if you buy the drop shipping course, you get the t-shirt webinar. And I had a number of people join the drop shipping course recently because I did a live broadcast someplace else on drop shipping. I think I had 50 people buy the class. Out of the 50 people, they got emails from me every 3 days with more information about drop shipping for 15 days. And one of the last emails was about, hey, you love talking about drop shipping and learning about drop shipping? I've got this other course about Amazon. How would you like to learn about Amazon? And And I can tell you that out of those 50 people so far today, I know that they're on day 15 because today's Sunday, right? Yeah, today's Sunday. So far today alone, I've upsold 2 people into my Amazon course. That course is $297. So it was my free webinar that went to a $49 course that has now gone to a $297 course. So, and what did it take for me to get that traffic? I didn't have to pay Facebook for that. I didn't have to pay anybody for it. They were already on my email list. They voluntarily gave me their email addresses, and I was able to upsell to them. So that's one of the powers of your email list as well. It can definitely be your coin is in your inbox for sure. All right. So I've mentioned funnels. I mentioned funnels. And I know they're probably thinking, what's a funnel? It's not the funnel cake. It is not the thing that you use to pour stuff into a bottle. Talk for a second about funnels and the tool that you would use for a funnel specifically.
So for someone who's just kind of getting started and maybe just starting a blog, you might think like, okay, all I need is to write, right? All I need is to create content for my blog. But you have to have an ultimate goal, right? If your ultimate goal is just to put content out there so that you can become an influencer and, start working with large brands, then that's your goal. And there's a way, You know, there's a funnel for that. If your ultimate goal is to build an audience, ask them what they want, create a course, and then sell that, well, then there's a funnel for that. And basically a funnel is the steps to take someone from free to paid. Someone asked me to describe what I do, because that's essentially what I do. I help people with their marketing, help them gain clients online, and we do that with funnels. So someone asked me to explain what I do badly. It was like, badly explain your profession.
Explain like I'm 5 years old. Tell me what it is, because I don't know.
So my response was, I find people who are mildly interested and I push them down a slide until they get more interested. And by the time they get to the end of the slide, they're thinking, where has this been all my life?
And I need to pull out my wallet and I'm going to throw this money at you to get this thing.
So essentially that's a funnel. So, you know, let's say you're using your blog as a platform for you to get your voice out there, for you to become an influencer, then you're going to be creating opinionated content. And then at the end of it, the end of your funnel is share this with a friend. That's your goal, is to reach more people, right? If you are writing your blog so that you can create a course and then ultimately sell it, then your goal at the end of all of your content and where you're bringing people into your funnel, your goal is to say, take an action, click this link, go here, do this. You want to develop a audience and a list of people who are going to take action when you ask them to, right? And so I think the final action, like the end of the funnel, is always the same. It's hey, go do this. But what you ask them to do is going to be different based on what your goals are. And, you know, when I think of a funnel, I think of, let's provide something for free. Let's get the email address. Let's continue to provide value, a couple of emails, videos, webinars, whatever it is. And then by the end of it, let's say, hey, would you like to purchase this? It's really simple. And they either say yes or no. Easy as that.
And so since you're the funnel queen, what tool are you using now specifically for your funnels? Might not be the best for people who are just starting out, but just so that they can write it down and have it for future reference when they come to you, because they're going to be like, LaTisha, I need help with my funnel.
Oh, absolutely.
What tool are you using for your funnels?
So I use ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels has two options. There's a $97 a month and a $297 a month version. Everybody's not ready for that. I wasn't ready for it when I got started. Okay. My first funnel that I created, I was hosting a webinar, and that was my first time essentially creating a funnel. So the landing page that I created I designed it right inside of my blog. So when you came to my blog, you saw the page that had the details of the webinar, you signed up on that, and there was a thank you page. That was it. That was my first funnel. It was free. It came directly from my blog. I essentially decided to upgrade and to use a tool like ClickFunnels. Well, I'm using ClickFunnels, right? So I decided to upgrade because my business started to grow and I wanted something that could grow with me. And I was able to more than cover the expense with the income that I was making. But if you're just starting out and you're not making any money yet, and maybe that's not the first investment you want to make, then you can still make this happen using WordPress or using a free tool or something like that.
Awesome. So we learned about WordPress yesterday as being like the kind of go-to for a lot of blogs if you're just starting out, because it's easy to use. So now let's say we told them they needed at least 20 posts up to make it worthwhile before they really kicked off. 30 would be better, but at least 20. Now they've got their 20 posts up and it's just them and their mom and the dog reading the blog. What would be the first marketing tool that you think that a new blogger should use?
I'm going to say a webinar. Like, even if it's something as simple as a Google Hangout where you're interviewing someone.
Like right here.
Yeah. So whatever your topic is, whatever you're providing value on, video is super high impact. So I would suggest hosting an event for even that small audience that you have. What's going to happen is, as you're promoting the event, you're going to get more people paying attention to you and your blog that didn't know you before. Then you can capture their email address, and now they get to go check out those 20 posts that you have. Then the next thing that you do is you take that same event and you start giving it away. So now you've got your freebie. So you've got your 20 posts. You've got a great webinar that's either an interview or something you're teaching, or, if you're even ready for it, a sales presentation, if you have experience doing that. You got a good piece of video content. Now you're taking that, you're packaging that up as your freebie, and now you can start getting people onto your email list.
How would you promote this webinar? Like, what tools would you, as a new blogger, say would be useful to promote? Let's say you're doing a webinar. Jason Butler just did one on eBay, for example, as a free webinar for people. How would you say that a new blogger should promote their webinar?
So number one thing I would say is do a profile funnel. A profile funnel is simply you create an image to go in your cover picture. And then in the description of that image, you say, I'm hosting a training. Then you go to your own profile, wherever you're most active. So some people are very active on Facebook, others are active on Instagram, wherever you're most active, wherever you have a following. We all have a personal following somewhere, right? You go to your personal page and you say, hey, I've been getting a lot of questions about, DIY, whatever, how to make chicken coops. I've been getting a lot of questions about how to make chicken coops. I'm thinking of doing a training on exactly how I do it. Would you be interested in coming? If so, just comment yes below. And once I put it together, I'll let you know about it.
Okay? So you can do those profile covers on Twitter, on your Facebook, your profile on Instagram is a little round thing, but whatever. Yeah. So all the social medias allow you to, even here on YouTube, you've got that header that you can do, and you can put your stuff right in those headers and those images. Very LinkedIn. Easy. Yep. To help promote. LinkedIn is the other thing that people sleep on. Yeah. To help promote your stuff. So let's say we've got our blog together. We're going to host an event. We're now on social media. And so I know a lot of people kind of go around in circles about which social media platform to be on.
Yeah.
What do you think about social media?
I started a profile on all of them. So I have a Twitter, I have Instagram, I have Facebook, I have Pinterest, I have everything that came up. I got it. Snapchat, all of it. I'm everywhere.
Yes, there was that thought, right? Be everywhere. So I'm like, yeah. I'm everywhere.
And then I started evaluating where I was spending my time, because I wanted to earn more. And so one of the things that I realized was that in order to earn more, you've got to focus. Mm-hmm. So I started looking at where I was spending my time and what was actually bringing me results. And I realized that I didn't really like Twitter. I didn't spend much time on it. I didn't get much engagement there. So
Twitter is the bomb.com.
I stopped using. I don't really use Twitter anymore.
That's for me.
I looked at Instagram. I know there's a lot of people who love Instagram. I didn't get much traction on it, so I just stopped doing Instagram.
Hate it.
I found that most of the people that I was connecting with, I was doing Periscope, I was doing all sorts of stuff. Most people I was connecting with were on Facebook. I really like using Facebook. So even though I still have accounts and profiles everywhere else, I do everything on Facebook. So I would say choose the one where you're most active, where you can stay active, and just build on that. Definitely grab I don't know if it's even valid now, grabbing your name on all of the platforms. Simply because, if you're just getting started and it's something you want to get, then yeah, I would say go get it.
But you don't have to be active there,
Yeah. Unless you get the trademark. If you get the trademark, like I don't have a Twitter for creating coins, but if anybody tries to do creating coins, I'll just contact Twitter.
Right.
Because I got this piece of paper, right? That says,
I love that you're so proud of it. And you should be. It took months for Tish to get her trademark, by the way. So yeah.
Well, it took 13 months. Yeah.
That's a long time. I need to trademark my stuff. I'm just not.
You need to get on
lazy. It. I'm so lazy. But yeah, so that whole be everywhere thing, it's hard, y'all. It is not easy. I could say the one thing is that there are some tools now that could help you automate you being in multiple places. So, for example, I was making fun of Tish with Twitter. Twitter used to be my go-to, but it's not anymore. My Twitter is so automated these days. But the thing is, I still get some engagement on Twitter. I think I have like 8,000 followers or something on Twitter. So I couldn't just abandon them. I put on autopilot. And so I use a program called, there's Hootsuite, there's TweetDeck, there's, what
Buffer.
else is there? Buffer.
Yeah.
And basically those are tools that you can use to pre-schedule your tweets. So like on a Sunday, my VA will sit down and she'll do tweets for me for the next 3 or 4 days that she'll just reschedule tweets and retweets. Also within WordPress, there's a plugin called Revive Old Posts. I'm going to put that in the comments. And basically it will tweet out or reshare your posts on your website for you automatically. So it looks like you're tweeting it, but you're not really tweeting it. You haven't touched it. You just kind of set it and forget it. So that's called Revive Old Posts.
I will say one thing that I do like in order to kind of automate that process is 2 softwares. One is called If This Then That.
Love that one.
Yeah, ifttt.com. If This Then That. And the other one's called Zapier.
Zapier's awesome.
Zapier, essentially, like if you start doing too many things, you're gonna have to pay.
Yes.
Right.
And we try to minimize costs over here.
Yeah. But If This Then That, I think you can do a whole bunch of stuff and it'll still be free. Like I didn't realize, I actually so there was a tweet that went out on New Year's Eve that said Happy New Year.
Oh, you set one up? Oh, look at you.
I set that up like a couple years ago. I was like, I was looking at my Twitter. I was like, who sent that? Oh, did I get hacked?
Zapier did it. I used to do If This Then That when I was live on Periscope. And I had it where it says, I created an image that was specific for Periscope. It was like a little phone image with my image on it and said, yes, I am cheap. And it says, join me, I'm live on Periscope. And it would go to my Facebook and my Twitter automatically every time I was live on Periscope. So I definitely use If This Then That for that. And it was awesome because then I didn't have to go ahead and, let me send a link. Let me send it
there. Yeah.
I didn't have
definitely the formulas in there. It'll help you like duplicate yourself. So if you as soon as you publish a blog post, you can say, send it to Twitter, send it to Facebook, send it to Instagram, send it. I don't know if you can do Instagram, but
now
Instagram is just weird.
They're just changing a little bit. I think
they need to.
And they make life so hard to make it
too
easy.
much.
Listen, that's why I was like, Instagram, I can't deal with you. Yeah. I do maybe one post every 2 months on Instagram because I can't.
One thing I did like was because I had started a YouTube channel to go along with my blog. So a lot of the content that I had written on my blog, I decided to just start recording videos. And as soon as I published a YouTube video, I would take the recipe for If This Then That, would take that YouTube video and it would publish it as a blog post.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and it would take the content from the description box and put it in there. It would take the image and put it in there. It was actually really neat. And then I stopped doing videos because it was just a lot of work.
I love those little mini If This and That and Zapier. They're like little mini robots. Yeah. Little mini yous. I know lately you've been talking a lot about chatbots, which I kind of love, but I'm not into it yet. Yeah. I built a whole chat tree and everything, and then I turned it off. Because I'm like, I'm too busy. Yeah. Chatbots is like the big new marketing thing that's like really, really great for engagement. Can you talk about chatbots, what they are, and how people can use them?
So I think if you're just getting started with your blog, and like we said, email list is your distribution, a chatbot can be sort of a secondary. When you think about, my phone has lit up already 3-4 times. I keep looking down. It's, I'm getting a message. It's from my mom, so I'm sure it's important. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Side note, but I sent her some vegan chocolates for Valentine's Day, and they weren't supposed to come until the 13th, and they already came. So I'm a little upset right now.
But maybe she doesn't like those vegan chocolates.
Like, But they're okay. Anyway, sorry. Side note. Okay, so messenger bot list. So so when you get a message on your phone,
hidden here for my husband, they're hidden for Valentine's Day because I don't do holidays. So I'm gonna surprise them like Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah. But they're not vegan.
She's on this new vegan kick, so I was like, let me send these to her. Okay, so when you get a message, it's like instant. Like you see it, and you automatically want to respond to it. You want to check it. You're even curious to see like, what are they saying? Like, I still don't like, I'm curious to see like, what's she talking about? Right. Mm-hmm. So the cool thing with a messenger bot, it's integrated into Facebook. So you already have it. If you have a Facebook page, if you have it for your blog or you have a fan page, you have access to Facebook Messenger. Whenever you post something and anybody comments, there's an option for you that'll say, like this comment, reply to this comment, or message. Mm-hmm. So you can click the button and you can message everybody who's commented to you and respond privately as your page and say whatever, like, hey, thanks for commenting or whatever.
Which, really by cool, the way, people love because they're like, oh my gosh, you responded.
Yeah. They're like, you're a real person.
Yeah.
I get that a lot. And people are like, are you really talking? I'm like, who do you think creates these messages?
Yes.
It's me. So anyway, the really cool thing is that now there are some new software and tools that allow you to kind of automate that process. So there's a tool that I like to use. It's called ManyChat. It is free unless you want to do certain features, mm-hmm. and it'll have their branding on it. And what it'll do is if anybody messages your page, it will send them an automatic response that says, hey, thanks for getting in touch. And you can say whatever you want in that message. So I've been using that to continue to provide value. So when anybody messages my page, I say, hey, thanks. What do you need help with? Do you need webinar help? Do you need help with this? Do you need help with that? And then whichever button they tap, they'll get a freebie, mm-hmm. PDF or, whatever it is. And I built up, I have a list of like 2,500 subscribers at this point.
How do I turn off your chat bot? Because really, Tish, really, I'm on that list. And I'm like, LaTisha, if you don't stop messaging me.
Okay, so the problem with, let me tell you, okay, side note for this. So I had sent a message on, I think it was Friday. And the goal was it wasn't a sales message because you can't send sales messages constantly. You can only send subscription type messages. If you send anything promotional, they have to have interacted with your page within the last 24 hours for you to send promo. And if you don't follow that, like you are in danger of getting shut down. So the message that I sent was just hey, come inside of the group because this is what we're talking about right now. Mm-hmm. So I sent that, and then I had somebody send me a private message and they said, hey, your link is not working. So I was like, okay, let me go fix it. So then I sent the next message. I was like, hey, if you couldn't see it, here's the link. And I misspelled it. So I was like, okay, I got to send another message to fix the message that fixed the other message. So I sent I was like, well, this is one way to clear out people who want to unsubscribe anyway. But surprisingly, I didn't really get that many unsubscribes. People are still hanging out with me. They're like, I was
like, go to sleep, LaTisha, you're drunk. What is this?
I think, was it too early in the morning?
It was early because after I got up with the baby and I did everything, I was like, why does LaTisha have like 3 messages on here?
But you know what? As soon as I sent that message, it was about a conversation we were having in the group. As soon as I sent it, I got like 5 people that responded on that post, and that's commenting. Awesome. And engaging. And that's what I want, right? Like my goal is to engage with my audience. So if you want to do a messenger bot for your audience, I think it's maybe a little bit more of an advanced strategy, but
it is.
If you're going to have a Facebook page, you're not going to reach, Facebook doesn't, they want you to pay to reach the people who liked your page. And that's fine, right? We're not paying for the platform. They have created the platform. So I don't complain about that. I just find ways to work around it. So getting a messenger list is my way of taking that page that I have and reaching the people who have asked to hear from me. And I can do it for free without paying Facebook again.
So someone said the chatbot freaks them out. It's because it can appear like they're responding right away. Yeah. I know. I love my chatbot for that because kind of like LaTisha, I did like the top 3 things that people usually reach out for me on my chatbot, and it saves them from 1, emailing me because you guys heard email was my kryptonite, and 2, they get what they want right away, like instantly, and that usually gets your fans more of a fan of you because they're getting what they need right away. And P.S., you just added them to another list. So you're on their chat list. So Dancer Ava, this is, wait, you're on your daughter's account. I remember you said, when I first got them, it was so quick in responses that I knew I was talking to a robot. I wasn't expecting it and I didn't realize what was happening. So you can actually delay the response time if you want to.
Yeah. There's some cool features in there. You can include a delay where it'll look more human. It'll have the little 3 dots kind of going like this, so it looks like someone's typing. You know, I think it's really cool. I think as more people get to know about what chatbots are, they'll kind of get familiar with it. It won't be as creepy or as spooky. But I still do go in there and you know, sometimes I get responses and I'm in there actually responding back to people. So you know, I think it's a great way to have a conversation.
I pop in there sometimes just to get real human interaction occasionally. Yeah. So you mentioned Facebook and the fact that it's their platform. And both Tish and I love Facebook for, I think, how it's able to build our businesses. So if you're a starting blogger and one of the first things I think that you should get is a Facebook page. Agreed? Yeah. And then so if you have your Facebook page, can we talk about Facebook ads just a little bit?
Yeah. So I think at a minimum, you should have a Facebook and an Instagram at a minimum, primarily because Facebook owns Instagram. And depending on what you're posting, like you really can just duplicate your stuff both places. Okay. What I would say is if you're going to start using Facebook ads, you want to have a purpose and end goal for them. It's really easy to, you know, a lot of times people think that they're going to run an ad and it's just going to, like, money is going to fall from the sky.
What? That Facebook money tree that you shake?
Yeah.
Because I keep shaking and it's not working.
You know, it's not a magic wand. I always say that Facebook ads are like pouring gasoline on a fire. So if you don't already have the fire burning, you're just pouring gas on dirt. Like, you really expect a fire? Like, you know, let's get real. So I say that figure out, you know, what your end goal is first. If you're just starting out, I don't know that Facebook ads are for you. I will say, so when I switched up my offerings and I went from doing personal finance over into marketing, that's how I grew my business really fast, was I grew with Facebook ads. But this is what I did. I knew that I was going to have to sink some money into Facebook ads before I truly became profitable with them. So I actually had a Facebook ad budget. I was okay with spending, I think my budget at the time was like $200 a month.
Rolling in the dough. I still don't spend $200 a month. What is wrong?
Okay, well, we need to talk, because you already have a funnel that's working. So we need to discuss. Okay. So I started out with a budget of about $200 a month, and I was alternating. I did a free workshop, paid workshop, free workshop, paid workshop. And I was using ads to advertise both the free workshops and the paid workshops. So I had something to share. It wasn't just, hey, go click on my blog post.
Right.
It was, hey, come to this, because on the free workshop, I was upselling you to the paid workshop, and on the paid workshop, you're actually paying to be there, right? So the end goal was always some way I'm making money back, even though I wasn't necessarily breaking even when I started. And then I started my Facebook group, and I started using ads to bring people into the Facebook group, because I knew that as I brought people in there, it was going to help me to grow the community that was, you know, I was eventually going to be able to, you know, sell courses and coaching and consulting and all of that too.
Right.
So that's how I used it when I first started. But I will say that I kind of had the knowledge of how to upsell on a webinar first before I started using it. So if you're not familiar with how to do that, that would be the first thing I would learn after you do your 20 posts. And after you do your free webinar, that's like a teaching or training thing. I would learn how to do a sales presentation next.
P.S. Your first webinar is not going to be great. Don't expect it to be. You need to practice. I still don't do live webinars on purpose.
Really?
This is the most live. I haven't done a live webinar since What year is this? Maybe 2016, maybe?
Really?
No.
It's always some sort of tech challenge that happens.
You know me and EverWebinar. I'm
Yeah.
So EverWebinar, by the way, is another tool. This is an advanced tool. This is not for you, the beginners. But there is a webinar tool called Webinar Jam that you can use and run a webinar. You can also run a webinar on Zoom. You can run it here on Google Hangouts if you like, which I suggest if you're just starting, probably is the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, Facebook Live. I've done webinars on Facebook Live too.
Yes, Facebook Live. I think I've done some time. No, I haven't. But EverWebinar is an evergreen product. Basically, you build a webinar as if it is live, and it's there. So if you guys have taken my Amazon webinar, I was never live. I'm just going to tell you right now. I was never live. It appears to be live, but I am not live. I have never been live. It was always pre-recorded because that way it allowed me to perfect my webinar. So that's an advanced tool. We're not there yet. When we learn about webinars, we'll talk about that. All right. So the first thing I think people are going to see when they've got their Facebook page up is they're going to see that, and they share a post. They're going to see boost post at the bottom. Do you recommend it or not?
It's really tempting to do that, especially because Facebook will actually send you a message and they'll say, hey, you can boost your post, or hey, we've given you $10, or
what? You get free money from? I have never gotten free money from Facebook.
Oh yeah, they're doing that now. I have a whole other Facebook page, and they just sent me a message that says get a $10 advertising credit. So they'll do it. They try it.
I need to snatch my life because I'm not getting free money from them. Okay, sorry.
What I would do is, if they give you that free money, that $10, absolutely go ahead and boost until your heart's content, or until that $10 runs out, right? What I recommend that you do with that is, if you have a post that has affiliate links in it, that would be preferred. If you don't, and you've got something that is native to Facebook, where it doesn't have a link taking them somewhere else, where it's just really good content and people are like excited to like, share, comment, or something that's engaging, it's opinionated, whatever it is, that's the one that I would boost. Because what's going to happen is you're going to get lots of engagement, you're going to get likes, you're going to get shares, you're going to get comments. And then what you can do is you can click on everybody who's liked it, and you can invite them to like your page. And that's how I would use, if I were going to use that free $10 boost, that's how I would use it to get started.
You briefly mentioned Facebook groups, and I know that's probably more advanced than you guys that are just Wait a minute. Lariba says they offer her credits all the time. What am I, chopped liver? I never get credits. Okay. I've never
start a new page. Go to your other Facebook profile and start a business page on there. I guarantee they'll give you something.
What do you mean my other Facebook profile, LaTisha?
Well, we all got, I got a backup in case they ever, because you can't trust Facebook. In case they close my Facebook account down, like I have another Facebook account that is admin on all my pages and everything.
Because you have to. Never trust Facebook. Never trust another platform. If you don't own that platform, don't trust them, which is why I keep telling you guys. That's why I tell you guys, have your blog on your own thing. Don't have it on a .com. Have your own thing. So Facebook groups, you have a group, you have had a couple of groups, you've kind of changed groups.
Yeah.
And you mentioned how you use a strategy to get people to join your group. What's the benefit of having a Facebook group?
Yeah. So if you have, when you're starting out a blog, essentially a Facebook group is a place for people to congregate. People used to do this
chat rooms on your blogs way back in the days.
Yeah, they used to have Google groups. Used to be the way that people did it. And I think now kind of like what's in vogue is Facebook groups, especially since Facebook is starting to prioritize groups and all that.
They are.
So I say once you get about 100 people on your email list, you can go ahead and start a group so that y'all can have conversations in there. Understand that the group is not your, it's not for you to stand up on a pedestal and be the only one talking.
Yes.
The purpose of a group is for your audience to make connections in between themselves. So you're essentially as a facilitator. There's lots of groups that I go in where the person who started the group is like, you can't do this, you can't do this, and you can't do that, and you can't do like, and all they want to do is like, no, not you. All they want to do is like share their stuff, or they have it where you got to get your post approved and all that. Like the purpose of a group is so that people make those connections in between themselves, and then they see you as, I met him because Sandy introduced me, right? I learned this thing, right? because LaTisha brought somebody in who taught me, right? So that's how I view a Facebook group personally.
Yeah, I kind of loved them. I didn't like them at first. I have thought about closing this Facebook group so many times.
Yeah.
Because they work, and people don't realize that it's a lot of work to keep a group that's engaging.
Yeah.
Because there are some groups out there, and I'm part of groups that are just dead air.
Yeah. And I actually did. I closed my group. So I had started the group as the Actionista Mastermind. I got so tired of being the only one talking. And then I like reevaluated it. And I was like, well, what topic do we have to talk about? Like, are we just talking about taking action? If that's the case, like I haven't done a good job of being a facilitator and giving them something to talk about. So I closed the group. I was about to just completely like shut it down and let it go. And then when I started doing Creating Coins, I essentially brought it back as the Creating Coins community. So now we have a topic to talk about, which is how are we creating coins? How are we making money? How are we turning our skills into an online business? And now we're having conversations around that. I'm still posting 80% of the time, but I'm fine with that, right? I tend to attract introverts. I'm an introvert myself. And as introverts, like we're more likely to just love a reaction. Mm-hmm. Like we're not really the ones that's commenting because we actually don't want notifications. I can't stand notifications.
I turn my notifications off, even on my own group. I'm not even gonna lie.
So if you get a comment from someone who's introverted, like you just got a gold sticker. Like they actually came out of their shell and they decided to leave a comment. So when I do live streams and my audience interacts with me, I know that many of them are introverts. Like I get really excited because I know what it takes for us to do that. So like I said, I post most of the time. I'm fine with that. I also started a group that's more of a forum for people who are interested in marketing tools. It's called Marketing Tools and Tech. I think you tagged it in the event.
I did.
And in there, like it's really set up for anyone who needs help with tech or anyone who's really good at tech. And the goal is to, once again, facilitate those conversations inside of the group. And I'm just a really big nerd.
I feel like that group, you have a lot more people like talking about all the stuff that they're getting into.
Yeah, there's a lot more people sharing their own things and asking questions. And I think it's because the intention that I set for that group was we're here to talk about marketing tools and tech. So from day one, it was like, this is the intention. And I also kind of gamed the system a little bit. Yeah. So I launched the group by posting on my personal page, which is why I had mentioned when you host your webinar, post it on your personal page. And because so many of the first members, so the first 100 members were essentially people that were already in my network.
Right.
That means that every time I posted, they got a notification because a friend of theirs posted in the group. And because I started with ties that were strong between group members first, I essentially gamed the algorithm. And now we're almost 500 members.
Really quickly.
Out of the group. Yeah.
That's great. So Lariba, who's a moderator in the Hustle Group, says it's a lot of work to keep groups going. What I did with my mods, because one of the there's a point when I was burnt out and I was like, I'm going to shut this group down. And Tish actually gave the advice, why don't you ask for moderators?
Yeah.
Or get volunteers. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Let's see if anybody's interested. I'll give you guys a free thing to my Amazon class. And people stepped up and I was like, oh, guys, ladies, please, I can you just help me out? And they've been great and they foster conversations in the group as well. So yeah, Lariba has some firsthand knowledge there about how hard it is to keep groups going. Dancer Ava says, Team Introvert. Oh, yes. Y'all get platinum stickers from me. Adila says, believe it or not, introvert here. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Lauren says, I've left Facebook groups because they were just not there engaging.
Yeah.
So if you have a Facebook group and you don't want it to just be about you, but you're using it as part of your marketing strategy, what do you suggest? Because for me, I try to strike a balance between advertising some of my stuff versus making sure that everybody's able to talk about everything they need to talk about. So I try to make sure like one post of mine out of God knows how many is actually talking about my stuff.
Okay.
But what do you do?
So the way that I've changed up just a little bit, because I used to do that where I was essentially using the group also to kind of promo my stuff. But the way that I've changed it up is if you're coming in the group and you provide me your email address, you're going to be on my email list. And then if I'm promoting something, that's where you're going to get it. My goal inside of the group is to keep engagement high. Like I'll ask you, what city are you in? And what's the famous food there? Because I want the group to show up in your feed, because every time the group shows up in your feed, you have the chance to continue making those connections. I'm no longer using the group as a sales platform, because when you come into the group, if you provide me with your email address, I can have that conversation over email. If you join my Messenger chat bot, I can have that conversation in Messenger chat. So the times that I want to have a sales conversation is obviously if somebody wants to get on the phone with me, but I want to do that in a channel where I can directly reach you versus Facebook, where you may or may not see the post. Right. And the more that I share anything that's sales or anything that doesn't have a direct what's in it for me, the more likely my group is going to get pushed down in the feed. And so I just want to keep engagement high, and I want to keep strengthening those connections, because my ultimate goal is to have some sort of retreat or conference. I've had a retreat in the past that was like for my high ticket clients, but I want to have a lower ticket retreat that's a little bit bigger for the rest of my audience. In order to do that, like we need to know each other so that when we show up at the retreat, we actually talk to each other.
Right. Makes sense. And I hope you guys noticed that LaTisha just gave you another way for you to capture email addresses again. So yes, if you have a Facebook group, you're now able to ask people questions as they join the group. Those of you guys who have been a part of the Hustle Crew for some time probably never saw this, but all new members who join the group must now agree that they're not going to spam the group. And the optional question is, hey, would you like to be in before they were getting the t-shirt webinar as a freebie, notice again, a freebie, but now it's, hey, would you like to join our $500 side hustle challenge where I'll show you how to make $500 in 1 month. Yep. Give me your email address here. And now they have the option of giving me their email address. And that's how I get people onto the list. I think I've got, I don't remember, 1,700 people on the list. Just from asking.
The only thing I would recommend switching up is if, depending on how you're structuring the question, instead of asking, would you like, if so, drop your email, because that's 2 questions. Would you like? Yes. If so, drop your email. I would switch that to drop your email if you would like such, 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 such.
Good point. I got to see how I ask the question. All right. So we're coming up on it. That was the fastest hour ever. I swear.
It was.
So what are some tools?
It's time for me to eat again. So
I'm here like my bottle is empty. So that was my indication that hour is up. Me and my water again. What are some final tools, tips, anything that you think new bloggers need when it comes to tools, tech, marketing, etc., that they should know, like, take advantage of, and be friends with? Other than email lists, which we've stressed so many different ways. We've gone around many different ways to get people's email addresses because it is so important. And it was a mistake, like I said, I made for a good 6 years. So don't make my mistake.
So a couple great tools. Canva, so that you can design your PDF, your freebie or whatnot.
I hate Canva.
I saw that side eye.
I can't get into it for some reason. I don't know what it is about me. But can I just tell
you have somebody design your PDFs?
I do them, but I do it in Photoshop. But can I tell you how I designed a whole church program on Canva one time when my Photoshop was acting crazy? But I was like, I see the appeal for Canva, but I'm like, but anyway, Canva.
If you can handle Photoshop, then Canva will frustrate you because you don't have as much flexibility. But then again, it's perfect for beginners.
It is super perfect for beginners.
Yeah.
And you can use them for your images, and you use them for like all of your promotional stuff, right, Tish?
Yeah, they have templates, all sorts of stuff. I have all my VAs, they just do stuff in Canva and send it to me, all that stuff.
Love it.
So Canva, design your PDF, your promos, your profile funnel. Go ahead and sign up for
all that stuff.
Sign up for ConvertKit is the one I recommend. That's the email service that I recommend. It's $29 a month out of the gate. That's the one thing that I would say, put some duckies aside to spend on it. I'm an affiliate for it. I like it. I love it. I've used it before I went to the $297 a month thing that I'm using now.
Because I'm about to upgrade. I don't have all my lists in ConvertKit. I'm about to port them all over because I do, I had a fiasco with MailChimp. So I have like 2 lists over there, and I'm about to port everybody else over there because I'm like, I need them all in one place.
And that's why I would say ConvertKit, because a lot of people are like, well, what about MailChimp? But MailChimp is like one of those places where like they will shut you down with no reason why, because you used a certain word. Like they're notorious for it. I got shut down. I had an old account. I got shut down and they said that they didn't like the place that the link went to that I shared. And so they shut my whole account down. I tried to get it back. I had to start a whole new account. It was a mess. Yeah. So go with ConvertKit, pay attention to their terms of service, spend that $29. If you do what you're supposed to do and you write those first 20 posts, you create that first training webinar and you start getting people in, you can recoup that $29 fairly easily.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. You just got to create your value, find somebody who wants it, offer it to them. So that's the first thing that I would say do. Go ahead and get your Facebook and Instagram at a minimum, and use Canva to create your images, write your blog posts, put those up. And that's pretty much it.
Awesome. So today we have learned the importance of the email list. I don't know, we've shown how many different ways to get people on your email list, right?
Yeah.
Chatbots, your social media accounts, directly asking for it on your site, having a webinar, groups, so many different ways, because it is super important to be able to connect with your audience outside of those other channels. And it's so personal. Like, it's just like you and I, Tish, we check our emails throughout the day, right?
Yep.
You could be in somebody's inbox right now. They're checking to see what posts you put up to go to your site and or to go to your training or your webinar or whatever it is that you're going to hold as well. Do you guys have any questions before I let Tish go? Just in case you do, later on, don't forget LaTisha is in the group. I also gave you a link on the event page to her group, Marketing Tools in Tech, which I think is so important because they talk about all these different little things that pop up. And these days I find myself being the app queen because I'm trying to simplify my life and make things as automated as possible, because I've got this little kid, running my life, his clothes all over the place. So I'm trying to make my life so simple by investing in the tools that make things as automated as humanly possible. So I really like the group for that. I'm looking to see if there are any emails or any questions. So yeah, you can find the links to ConvertKit, to GIMP, which is the free version of Photoshop, to Canva, etc. They are in the group under the recommended program section. If you go into the file section, I do have them there. ConvertKit is a mail program that allows you to collect emails and to email people. So if you get an email from me, from the Hustle Crew, you're getting it through ConvertKit. So that's a program that you can use. They're all saying thank you, Tish.
Yay, you're welcome. Glad you guys enjoyed it.
Thank you for joining us. So next week we have another event. We have Eric Rosenberg, who will be on talking to us about going from blog, using your blog as a springboard for other things. And he does like flash mobs. He's done speaking events. He now has podcasts, etc. So do join us next week as we chat with Eric Rosenberg. And then the week after that, we have Taylor as she talks about marketing using Pinterest for marketing specifically and other ways to kind of get traffic onto your site. So it's not if you build it, they will come. If you build it and you market the hell out of it, you may get some people coming on and coming back because we want that traffic coming back. So be sure to come back and check out those other events because you're not going to want to miss that. They have like really good knowledge. I'm tapping my network to come and talk to you guys. If you have missed any of these events or if you miss any of these events, don't worry. There is a replay. You can come back and watch the replay. At the end of our month of blogging, I'm going to package everything up with a nice bow so you can get it all in one place and get this entire tutorial from start to finish. Tomorrow is Monday, and tomorrow is where you get your first instruction on how to actually start your blog. So there's a very long blog post coming out tomorrow specifically for you guys. Look for the link in the Hustle Crew, and it will take you from start to finish on how to actually register your blog and begin right away getting your blog up. There are also 2 videos in the group that you can follow along with as well because I'm a visual person. I like somebody to click, 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 click with me. So you can do it that way as well. And as usual, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the group. The great thing about these people that I'm bringing on, they're also in the group as well. So if you missed something and you want to ask them a question, they're there. So tag them. Thanks, Tish.
All right. Thanks for having me. We'll see you soon.
Let me know how mom likes those vegan chocolates.
Okay, I will. I'm about to check it right now.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Bye.